Hey everyone, hope you guys are enjoying Monster Hunter in whichever fashion you're choosing to play it as. And today I'm going to have a very quick discussion regarding Monster Hunter 6 potential appearance at the Game Awards and how that might actually not turn out to be what a lot of people are hoping that it actually ends up happening, since some new information has kind of come to light. I'm going to be leaving some links in the description below, sourcing everything because I like to do that. I like to provide the sources for everything that I talk about. And it seems like the game that Capcom has been talking about making huge waves regarding potential massive sales heading into their fiscal 2024 might actually end up being Dragon's Dogma 2 after all, which ultimately kind of puts a massive hindrance on the opportunity of Monster Hunter 6 or the next mainline Monster Hunter game actually being the next major Capcom title that we do end up seeing appearing or being revealed at the Game Awards, like everyone is hoping at the very least to ultimately happen. I'm going to try to contextualize everything, and again, links in the description below for those who may not necessarily know. So if you have been watching and paying attention to my channel, you know that Capcom, during their fiscal report back in July and then back again in September, confirmed that they have a major title. These are Capcom's very own words. I'm going to be trying to overlay some headlines from different articles which basically say the same thing. Capcom has been stating that they have a massive game, unannounced game, currently as of right now, currently unannounced game that is going to be launching on their last part of fiscal 2023. That would be January through March of 2024. And essentially this game is going to be a big, massive, multi-million seller where basically all their fiscal stock is basically being pushed up based on this notion that Capcom has this big, massive game that they have not revealed, and they are going to be selling multi-million copies. So investors are very happy with that kind of like promise. And a lot of people, of course, have taken that to mean that this is going to be Monster Hunter 6 because the key word here and the key phrase is that is a currently unannounced game. However, we all know that Dragon's Dogma 2 has been fully revealed. We've seen gameplay trailers. You should be seeing some overlays there of that. And a lot of people are expecting this to be a late 2024 game for Capcom, essentially a fiscal 2024 game pushing forward into next year. However, as of recently, we ended up getting confirmation that Dragon's Dogma 2 has recently received a ratings boards listing in Saudi Arabia. I'm going to be leaving a link in the description below for vgars_SA's Twitter account, which basically provided the information that yes, indeed, Dragon's Dogma has an 18+ rating in Saudi Arabia. Now, ratings boards listings are not confirmations of a release date or even a confirmation of a release date window. However, most of the time, and again, if people have been paying attention, usually when a game gets rated, it usually launches within 4 to 5 months after it gets rated. After this Saudi Arabia ratings board listing for Dragon's Dogma, we got rumors that a Brazilian ratings board listing is working on that. So probably by the time that this video goes live, we're going to be seeing that Brazilian ratings board listing for Dragon's Dogma 2 also go live. So ultimately what this means is that Capcom is preparing this game to fully put out trailers for it and most likely a release date. That release date will most likely be, of course, early 2024, as a lot of people are starting to suggest. And that basically means that their big, massive game that we have been expecting to be actually Monster Hunter 6 might turn out to be Dragon's Dogma 2 after all. And this is something that we could potentially end up seeing at the Game Awards because, of course, you know, they've shown this game. The original Dragon's Dogma did make an appearance at awards back in the day when it originally launched. So ultimately, this could be what we end up seeing. So where does that leave Monster Hunter at the Game Awards? A lot of people have been wondering, well, if they showcase Dragon's Dogma, what else is Capcom going to show? Are they even going to show the next mainline Monster Hunter? And that doesn't necessarily mean that Monster Hunter is not going to be a part of the Game Awards. We recently saw the Game Awards nominees and the best mobile game section. Of course, Monster Hunter Now's Niantic with Capcom is shown up there alongside Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, Honkai Star Rail, Hello Kitty Island Adventure, which is really funny, and Terra Nil, a game that I never even knew anything about. It wouldn't surprise me if Honkai Star Rail wins because that is probably the most popular one out of all those mobile games, because ultimately the Game Awards is a popularity contest. It's not really about the actual best game. It's just about the popularity and who votes the most and which one reviewers reflect the most. It's not really, I mean, we all know Baldur's Gate 3 is going to win, and it's probably not the best game of the year, but that's not really the point. Ultimately, Monster Hunter now will get a mention at the very least at the Game Awards. So Monster Hunter will certainly make an appearance at the Game Awards for 1 second or two. But when it comes to Monster Hunter 6 or the next mainline Monster Hunter, probably we should start to quell our excitement to see what actually happens. And again, I do want to reemphasize this, and I want to contextualize everything for those people who are maybe first-time viewers. There has been a lot of talk regarding the time window release. If Capcom were to reveal the next mainline Monster Hunter game at the Game Awards, and it's supposed to launch around March or April, then of course that means they only have about 4 months of promotion for that game. We've talked about at length, and some of you guys in the comments have reiterated exactly what I've said in my videos, that is not Capcom's MO. They like to reveal a game, talk about it for 6 to 8 months to almost a year. We saw that with Rise. We saw that with Sunbreak. I believe that window for Sunbreak was about 10 months or 9 months or something like that. Rise was revealed. I think we ended up getting almost 11 months worth of promotion, and then they ultimately released the game. That is usually what Capcom does. Not every company does that. Nintendo doesn't always do that. Square Enix doesn't always do that. And Bandai Namco doesn't always do that. But sometimes they do. Big title games, they want as much promotion as possible, as much time as possible, and then eventually, release the game. Capcom is not one of those games that they're going to usually reveal and then launch it within 3 months. But there is a possibility if they are changing their ways or MOs or whatever, they might end up doing that. But now that we have this information regarding the Draining Board listings for Dragon's Dogma 2, that kind of puts an entire damper on that conversation regarding Monster Hunter at the Game Awards. And I know that's not probably what a lot of people want to hear. I know a lot of you guys want me to sit here and talk about, hey, we found this leak and it's going to showcase X Monster and all of that. And I wish that were true, but that's not really. All the signs are pointing in the opposite direction, and I cannot sit here and say otherwise. I wish, of course, that they showcase at the very least a logo. This is one of the things that I've talked about before. At the very least, a logo. I think a lot of people would just be like, hey, we have confirmation, we have a name, and now we could go crazy with speculation. They're going to add 50 more new weapons, 85 new monsters. Open world is non-existent, but they actually have like bigger open areas. We could have all those crazy discussions and speculations. That would be fun, certainly. But not having anything showcased again, with the understanding that the next year is their anniversary year. We already have a website that's going to be continually updated with more information throughout all of 2024. That's most likely what we should be hoping for. So most likely a back-end 2024 launch around the time, and this is something that again adjacents back to one of my previous videos where I spoke about this being a most likely a PlayStation 5 Pro, Xbox Series revision, whatever they end up calling that thing, or even a Nintendo Switch 2 launch game title, a game that launches with all of those brand new platforms launching around the same time window, again fall of next year, and Capcom tries to maximize as much as possible as being one of the early launch games on those platforms, again although they'll be playable on base PlayStation 5 and original Xbox Series X and all of that, and maybe not base Nintendo Switch, but at the very least Switch 2. Ultimately, it gets them on the ground floor of like highlight trailers, highlight reels. Look at the awesome new look of the Monster Hunter game. Also, you can play it on the brand new version of these new consoles and more powerful versions thereof. So that's at the very least where I'm standing as of right now with the information that we have collected. Dragon's Dogma 2 might end up being the early launch game heading into 2024. That's Capcom's very own words have suggested will be happening. And ultimately that leaves Monster Hunter 6 kind of like up on the wayside. We're just going to continue to wait and wait and wait. In the same way that we ended up waiting after the Game Award, after Tokyo Game Show, where, Ryosuke Sugimoto spoke about it, and ultimately they ended up revealing the anniversary page and some of the information there that they're going to be talking about it more next year instead of this year. So again, I know you guys are probably not going to be happy to hear that, but it seems like Dragon's Dogma, at the very least for that audience, for that player base, Dragon's Dogma is going to be launching sooner than expected for them, because they were expecting it for the fall. They're probably going to end up getting it in the spring. And Monster Hunters are going to have to end up, Monster Hunter fans are going to end up paying the price, having to wait until the fall of 2024 to most likely reveal in spring of next year. But that's about all the information that I have for you guys today. Again, links in the description below for everything that I talked about here. I like to provide sources as best as possible. If you're brand new to my channel though, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.